I improv all my poems, so this poem's just going to be created now. Also, I have a book, so if anyone wants to buy one, it's only $10. And it's written, so it's a little less jumbled than my spoken word, so yeah. Okay. Give me a little bit of time and everything will be fine. When you take a grain in order to understand the way the beach was formed before you went to it, when the sun was shining and the sea was nice and all you saw was nice refreshment. It started with a shell of many colors. One shell was full and beautiful, another shell had a crack in it. But before the shell came ashore, it was swirling around with a bunch of fishes. Those fishes were born in the water when a germ that was started in the water became the world that the ocean is now set in. As the beach was not to be yet, the shells were still in the water forming as the sediment was still becoming bedrock. As the sediment rose up, everything started to grow, just like the seaweed from down below and the sun up into the sky and the moon also nigh coming up after it. Just like the sun that sets whenever the moon comes up, so too does the water rise when the night comes up. Tides are connected to the moon as the moon is connected to the sun and as life is connected to death. Swirling around in a pool was a shell, just like me when I was 6, almost about to drown. But that's a simple fact, and all of these are simple words. Because one thing I've noticed is when you take a scabbard and you look inside for the sword, all you find is simple metal made into something that people contemplate life or death over. So if a caveman was what we came from, and if a simple rock could lead to 1,000 words, if 1,000 fables that Native Americans used to create a nation could now be considered children's stories that children don't even understand, and then later grow up to learn actually have warnings in them and see them as scary, just like Teletubbies, then one would understand that when one grows up and remembers drowning when they were young and about to die, whenever they question why their lives are still going, they should remember, just like the shell that's on the shore that we all do adore, it once had a crack in it, and the ocean was not there when the world was growing. So when you look at the sand and you take it by a grain, just remember, my story is somewhere in there, just a little bit, just like that fish in the water. I don't know where it started. I don't know where it'll go. All I know is that I keep on questioning and I keep on asking, and when I find the answer, I always take a minute to take a breather, and I actually become paralyzed for an instant. Because when you see the future, how are you supposed to move to it if we're all in the spaceship, wondering how it even got moving if we didn't even start it to begin with?